2001, the 11 month 26. Our next leader for the Republic of Liberia, he is nobody else but Alexander B. Cummings, will be taking a visit to Bapolu County. So we take this time to ask all of the Bapolu citizens in Bapolu, along with Senator Daniel Flamon X, to rise on their feet to welcome our President Alexander B. Cummings. Yeah! President Igbo Alexander Cummings. President Igbo Alexander Cummings. Dear well, Alexander Cummings. Dear Magazine, Alexander Cummings. Dear Magazine, Alexander Cummings. Alexander Cummings. Alexander Cummings. Pongane Blaga Model. Alexander Cummings. Brandy the Blaga Model. Alexander Imagaya Nimakane Blaga Model. Alexander Cummings. Imagaya Lofa Blaga Model. Alexander Cummings. Baburu Blaga Model. Alexander Cummings. Grand Crew Blaga Model. Alexander Cummings. Pomikande Blaga Model. Alexander Cummings. Kemakande Blaga Model. Alexander Cummings. Mirele Blaga Model. Alexander Cummings. Musa Peletenye. Alexander Cummings. Rewachi Blaga Model. Alexander Cummings. Grandmother Blaga Model. Alexander Cummings. Ozorado Blaga Model. Alexander Cummings. Ongane Blaga Model. Alexander Cummings. Alexander Cummings. Dear Mara Bueno, Alexander Cummings. Before you jump up in a way, Alexander Cummings. Before you look program when I'm in Alexander Cummings. Before you look program when I'm Alexander Cummings. Alexander Cummings. Alexander Cummings. Alexander Cummings. If you come and say Alexander Cummings. Alexander Cummings. President Alexander Cummings. President Alexander Cummings. Nebla da mwede President Alexander Cummings. President Amapora Alexander Cummings. Imagaya mole sabi.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to say welcome to the program, The Bottom Line. And I'm sorry, my microphone was muted there. But my name is Linford Goa, and this is the program, The Bottom Line. On this program, we do discuss the issues to the bottom. And we discuss politics, we discuss social, economic, and all different type of issues, as long as they affect the people of Liberia and the country Liberia. And once again, my name is Linford Goa. Stay with me. I expect that my other panelists might be joining me later on during the course of the program. But for now, I'm the only one here in your company. So I like to say welcome and stay with me to the end of the discussions for the day, and we're going to have some interesting discussions. But just before we do that, we'll take a short musical break and we come back.
Come on, let them say ya. Come on, let them say ya. That in my business, you catching fever. Getting serious like empty river. Ain't no stopping by the river. And as we coming, we sweeping, we cutting, we moving all the way. Yeah. We coming, yeah. We coming. As we coming, we sweeping, we coming. And then when we meet obstacles, we coming. Yeah, you coming, yeah. We coming. We better than a big coming. When the year is been checking you again, guys,
Okay, that was a short introduction song there, entitled Alexander B. Cummings, and it talks all about Mr. Cummings, who is the leader of the Alternative National Congress, the ANC. We'd like to say welcome officially to the program, The Bottom Line. My name is Linford Goer, and join me as we discuss some issues tonight. I expect that, like I said, my co-hosts might be joining me later on during the course of the program. Today, we will be discussing the 72-hour ultimatum given to Mr. Alexander B. Cummings by the court under the watchful eyes of Judge Chuma Chala. And as we all may know about the case up to now, Mr. Cummings was sued by one of the political parties that make up the CPP then. And I say then because we understand that the ALP, headed by Mr. Bernard Ure, has already decided to walk out of the CPP. So this is why I'm saying then. But howbeit Mr. Cummings was sued by the ALP leader, Mr. Bernard Ure, alleging that Mr. Cummings did forge his signature, meaning that whatever document was filed by Mr. Cummings was not signed by him, Mr. Bernard Ure, and that's why the case is in court. But we all know what has been developing from the case. The case went to court, and the prosecutor, that is the governor of Liberia, represented by Councillor Cyrenus Sema Cephas, asked for 5 days from the initial stage to get evidence in order to be able to make a case against Mr. Cummings. And after the 5 days expired, they reappear in court. And the government still did not bring forth the evidence that they have asked for days to collect. And we were not present in the courthouse, but reports emanating from the courthouse tell us that the government solicitor general did ask Mr. Cummings to produce the original copy of the document in question, that is the framework agreement of the CPP. And so this was the sticky point where the lawyers of Mr. Cummings argue that under the laws of the Republic of Liberia, especially in a criminal case as it is, the accused has the right to remain silent and not to provide any inch of document or statement that could further indict him, the accused, or her, the accused. And as the Solicitor General of Liberia was requesting Mr. Cummings to produce the original copy of whatever document is in question, if Mr. Cummings do produce that document, that means that he's further indicting himself in violation of that part of the Constitution that states that the accused in a criminal case such as this one has the right to remain silent, has the right not to provide any information or document that will further indict him. And so that was the argument on the part of the lawyers representing Mr. Cummings. And like I said, some of us were not in the court, so we really don't know what we're transpiring in that court or on the grounds. But information that we got from sources and from the lawyers clearly states that Mr. Cummings does not have the right. He can deny that request, okay, to produce any evidence against himself. Meaning that the accused, I think there is somewhere also in the law that says that the burden of proof rests on the shoulders of the accuser. And I was also reading somewhere casually that states that same burden of proof on the flip side, which is the burden of acquittal, rests on the shoulders of the accused. Okay, so you accuse me of stealing from you, you have that burden on your shoulder to produce the evidence in court in order to make a case against me. And at the same time, I, being the accused, I also have another burden, that is to acquit myself, to prove myself innocence. And that's when I will stay in my own defense. And so if you accuse me, you do not expect me to come, say I stole money from you. You do not expect me to come and say, okay, this is the money I took, or probably take my own money to show you and say this is the money that you may accuse me of taking. No, I cannot do that. You should be the one to provide the evidence. And that evidence must be circumstantial. It should be related to the circumstances under which I'm being sued. You cannot accuse me of signing a document that you say you're on, filing a document that you say your signature was not on, and then you're asking me for the same document. How do you know that is a document? Okay, and it's a lot of things about this document. Some of us, we sit and watch and we listen to some arguments. I saw a video somewhere where Mr. Benona Uri was praising Mr. Alexander Cummings at the end of his tenure as chairman of the CPP. Okay, and he clearly said that Mr. Cummings did an extremely good job, and that he, on behalf of his Liberty Party and the entire CPP, was commending Mr. Cummings for his tremendous performance as chairman of the CPP at the time. And if you also read between that line, that means that Mr. Cummings did exceptionally well, because I know Benona Uri will not be so naive to come and praise somebody who didn't do a good job. He will not be that childish to come and thank somebody who he knows has committed crimes, for which he will turn around at a later day to sue the same person. Okay, so that tells me that there was something that Mr. Ure saw about Mr. Cummings' performance as chairman of the CPP, for which he lauded him. He lauded his efforts. That's beside the point. Then we'll go to another video. This one, let's say an interview with Mr. Costa. Benona Ure admitted that he did see on some television, fun television, where people make fun of people and they say all kinds of funny things about people. And on that program, he saw or he heard that people were quoting some specific part of the framework document that the public does not know. That is, it is banning that as long as a member of the CPP, you cannot walk away no matter what happens. And if you do walk away, I'm paraphrasing, I may not say correctly exactly what he said, but if you do walk away, you cannot go as a party that walked away from the CPP to contest the election. But you can go as individual. And that was very, very, I think that was one of the sticky points within that CPP document. And so Mr. Ure describes it as something that the public was not supposed to know. Okay. But he said he heard it on the television, on the phone show television. And so he got concerned and he immediately took a phone. Now, listen to me, folks. He immediately took a phone and called the Unity Party, called Liberty Party, and even called his own party president who was responsible for the documents and said, look, send me all copies of the framework document that you have in your possession. That's Mr. Ure's word in the interview with Costa. Now, so I don't know. Now, in the same interview, Mr. Ure turns around and accuses Mr. Cummings of having the original copy of the framework agreement. And according to him, there were 5 copies. So the 5 copies, one was supposed to be for each political party, and the other one was supposed to be filed with the National Elections Commission. So I don't know if that was done. So then I started to wonder in my own heart, so how did Mr. Cummings get the copies again? Because at the time Ure is talking about this thing, okay, the document was already with what? The NEC. Okay, the document. Sorry for that interruption. The document was already with NEC. So if the document was already at NEC, so then how did Mr. Cummings get all 5 copies again? Okay, so according to Ure, he did call the Liberty Party, the UP, and even his own party, and said, "Send me the copies of the framework agreement that you have in your possession." But listen to Ure again. That up to now, in that same interview with Costa, up to now, Mr. Cummings had not produced or had not, returned the copies to each of the political leaders. So I don't know how many copies of this document they had. One was supposed to be with NEC, and it was the one that was with NEC that NEC used to allow the CPP to field its candidates in the last elections. So because there was no copy of any agreement or any paper from the CPP as a body, NEC would not have allowed the CPP, the opposition, to field various candidates across the country. So I don't know. So I get confused. Then Ure further states that Cummings has not up to date given any political leader the copy of the framework document. So I'm confused. Then which one Ure was calling the Liberty Party, his own ALP, and the Unity Party to send to him so that he can go through it. So it's confusing. I don't know. Probably I'm making a mistake, but somebody can help me along the line. That Ure accuses Cummings of not returning the copies of the framework agreement to them, to any of the political party as of today, as we speak. Okay, but the same Ure tells Costa in the interview that when he heard this funny show, on the funny show, that they were quoting certain part of this document, and then he got concerned. Then he called the Unity Party, the ALP, his own party, and then the Liberty Party, so that they can send the copies that they have in their possession. So where did this copy come from? And then which copy? Because according to information from them, they did their stuff. And somewhere again, we learned that Mo Ali was made personally to, after the signing of this document, Mo Ali was made to distribute the copies to each of the political leaders. So I don't know if Cummings went and took back all the copies from the political leaders and brought them back, because I know, and you know, and Boaka knows, Benona Ure knows, Cummings knows, Kanga knows that they will not sign a paper that they have not read. then something must be wrong with somebody around there. Because I will not sign a paper that I have not read. I will not put my signature on any paper that I have not read. And so if they signed this, or if they received their copies of the paper, of the document, and then one copy was, we got 5 copies right here, folks. Listen, the 5 copies we're talking about here. If one copy was supposed to go to NEC, and that will qualify the CPP as a registered opposition to be able to participate in any electoral process, which happened. Folks, listen to me. So that means the 5 copies, the copy that belongs to NEC was already filed. And then, understandably, the 4 political parties would have been in possession of their copy, 1 copy each. So the deal was done. CPP was registered, certified, and approved by the NEC to contest in the elections that brought some CPP lawmakers in the House, in both houses. Good. Understood. So I don't know which copy Mr. Ure still accuses Mr. Cummings of withholding that he had not delivered to the, so okay, they say photocopies, photocopies, but I don't know whether the NEC would have accepted photocopy of any vital document like that. I don't know. I don't know that part of it. So if it is the original copy that Mr. Cummings had, okay, if it is the original copy that Mr. Cummings had, so why then didn't they ask, or he, Mr. Ure, ask at the time for it? Okay, so I also get confused somewhere in between here. So if the court now is asking Mr. Cummings for the original copy, then Ure at the same time accuses Mr. Cummings of changing signature and filing or forging signature and filing that document with the fake signature to NEC. Okay, so then it means that the original copy does not have any fake signature. So why then the court is asking Mr. Cummings for original copy? Why can't the court ask NEC to bring that copy? Because, I mean, in any case, if there is any copy of that document that is worth anything here, that's a copy that should be with NEC. Because that copy is what matters, is what will make the CPP to participate in the electoral process or not. So I can have 100 copies, photocopies or original copies. It doesn't really matter. The one that is filed, because, I mean, folks understand me, understand what I'm trying to say here. If the document or copy was filed to NEC, that copy that was filed to NEC, it was filed on behalf of the CPP and all of the parties that make up the CPP. So that particular copy is the one that matters most, because what? That's the one that qualifies NEC or the CPP. That is the one that NEC used or will use to qualify or disqualify NEC, the CPP. Sorry, I'm mixing it up. The copy of the document with NEC is the one that matters the most in any case. So whether Bernard had 10 copies, Cummings had 100 copies, Braga had 15 copies, it really does not matter. Because why? Those copies did not matter. Nobody will tell you, bring your copy, because your copy does not matter anymore. The one you file to NEC is the one that matters. So if Ure accuses Cummings of falsifying his signature and filing it to NEC, so then why does the original copy matter at this time? Because NEC has already accepted that copy that was filed. So let's take for argument's sake that Cummings did change everybody's signature, that only his own signature there, or he falsified everybody's signature and filed it to NEC. NEC accepted it. But the question again I want to ask is whether Cummings was just sitting down with all the people on his desk and he was signing it, and this other CPP member was sleeping. They didn't know what was going on. So, folks, let me tell you, especially people, the legal-minded people, will have to really tread the lines. There's a very fine line, very thin line. There's a thin line between what we're talking about here. Okay, there's a thin line between what we're talking about. It's like, you know, you treading, you're walking on a border of sanity and insanity. Yeah, I'm still confused, my friend. You Facebook, you saw Sarah. I can see your name, so I will not call your name. But you're asking me if I'm still confused. Yes, I'm still confused. Beno Nagure is saying that Kwame had not delivered the capes of the framework agreement that belong to the federal political leaders. Then the same Beno Nagure will also turn around and say, when you heard this funny TV show quoting a part of or making fun about the part of a very vital part of the framework agreement, he called all the other political leaders or parties to send the copies that they have. So which copy are we talking about here? So you asking me if I'm still confused. You should be asking Beno Nagure which copy you're calling it, because according to him, come here, I deliver the copies to them. So then which copy you're calling the people to send to him? So you asking me if I'm confused. Yeah, I'm confused, but I don't understand. So if you can explain to me, I'll be very, very happy if you explain to me. You heard me challenge Costa today. Yeah, I challenge him. Because if Costa would say that Mr. Cummings, Mr. Cummings, in the past election, he performed badly, and so saying he performed badly, he cannot win. So, and then he the same Costa, he also trying to be senator. So, and he was whipped unmercifully. Okay? So what makes him think that his base has regrouped and built itself, and he's now strong enough to contest, that Cummings could not do the same thing? Okay, let me tell you, there's a lot of confused people. A lot of you are very confused because you are so buried into this, hearsay. You don't use your own mind. You just listen to somebody to tell you something. And people, when we become lazy, when we make our brains lazy, our body is useless. Once you make your brain lazy, your body becomes useless because it's a brain that controls you. Okay, that's why that's why you see a lot of people end up being crazy. God did not make anybody to be crazy, but when you make your brain lazy, then you become crazy because you're not thinking for yourself. The first carpet that was signed, and that was the carpet that was altered. So which I don't understand the first carpet. So it was only one carpet that was signed. Are you telling me that it was only one carpet that was signed? We're talking about 5 carpets here. One supposed to go to neck. Then the 4 parties supposed to have 1 carpet each. Okay, so the carpet that he altered, I don't understand you unless you can tell me. But I will not waste my time on you because you like I said, you are made your brain lazy. You're not thinking. You listen to other people to feed you information. So that what you feed on other people information. So that's why for me, I'm asking if you can convince me. Okay, so if they have 5 copies, that one to neck, and the other 4 parties will have their copy each. Okay, and then the one that went to neck. So Coming also went to neck and took a copy and key and fortune, right? And after it, right? Then you went to Benona and took it and key and after it, right? You're not thinking. Like I told you, you should first of all ask yourself whether Benona is in possession of 100 copies, coming get 1,000 copies. It don't matter anymore. What matters is the copy that went to neck. So let it be neck to come and prove that the court should be going to neck, because whoever have any copy of the framework document, that is useless. Okay, that does not matter, my friend. If you get passport, if you get passport, your first passport, then you get the second, you then using that first passport, it get proud, and then they send you another passport. Which one matter? The old one? No, you're not using anymore. Okay, you're not using anymore. It becomes null and void. So whoever has any copy, it's just for record sake, but it's null. The copy that went to neck is the most important one. So you said that the first copy, as I said, the first copy that was signed, that one coming out of. So so he went to Europe and told Europe, because when it's listen to me, you talking, put more sense in your head. Open your head small. So when they signed, so before copy, everybody got a copy, they carry it. Okay, and you can't say that everybody did not get a copy, because Benona also said that when he heard about this thing, he called the other parties to send the copies back to him. So where they get it from? Okay, I'm confused. Yeah, you're not confused. You're not confused, but you're not explaining anything. You're just saying the same thing. But I am laying down groundwork for you to think. I am telling you, if the first copy, in only one copy, is 5 copies, according to them. So okay, they want the first copy. Where, so where how where did the other copies come from? Because this I don't understand you. The first copy that you said was signed was what coming author. Okay, I agree. That was it. So the other copies are Benona Urega, where he got it from. Because it all should have been from the same copy. Because I don't understand you, but I'll not waste my time on you. Anyway, you are at liberty to talk because, like I said, you fill your head with some nonsense, so you will not think about what I'm trying to say. I'm sorry if I'm strong on you, but I don't intend to denigrate you though. But if you're not making sense, it's just not making sense to me. Okay. For you, when they say the first copy that get one single sheet, they're talking about no, hell no. It was 5 copies. And all of them were saying that they would have open Kolo Kolo, Benona were there, Waka were there, Nobly were there, Cummins were there. Okay? So that only one copy, then they come into that one copy carry thing. Put sense in your head. There are 4 political leaders. They were supposed to make 5 copies, one to neck. Each of the political leaders was supposed to carry 1 copy each. So the 5 right there, my friend. You talking the 5 right there. Okay? So that was the first copy. So when they talk about first copy, now one small sheet of paper coming here from the pocket and start reading people neon they know. That was the first copy they're talking about. So that first copy was signed by each and every one of them, unless you tell me that Benona Ure did not sign it, or Cummins did not sign it, normally did not sign it, and they only left everything with Cummins. Okay? So that's why you should be thinking. Then ask yourself, when Ure allegedly heard this thing on the TV, then he started calling the other political parties to send it. So which copy you're asking for? Now, say you say that the first copy. So which copy you're filing for? Oh yeah, okay. They did that one copy, that one first copy, right? And they say, come and hold it. Then they made another copy that when they carry home, man. Now I'm trying to say, put sense in your head, my friend. No, let me tell you. You know, God gave us hair in that design. It makes some of your fine, some of you get fine faces, some of you ugly. In that design, that sense God put there. Okay, God didn't waste his time to design you. No. Okay. Some of you lucky you find. Okay. So probably the fine people don't even use their hair. Not all the fine people got some very handsome and beautiful friends who are very smart. But you know, let's move on, brother. I agree with your argument. That was the first copy that was signed. I agree. Let's move on. But listen to me, folks. Those of you who want to listen. Like I said again, whether somebody is in possession of 1,000 copy of this thing, bull rag, nonsense. It doesn't matter. What matter? Tell me. So why would Comey take take his copy of the framework agreement to do with it? Boaka, what would Boaka do with his own? But now you just walk out. What is he going to do with it? It becomes useless. Okay. The only copy that matters in this entire episode is the copy that went to NEC, because that was the copy that NEC used to qualify and certify the CPP, to allow them to bring forth their candidates that took part in the election. This is not rocket science, my friend. You don't need to go to political school to understand this. You don't need to go to law school to understand this. It's simple sense. Simple sense. Okay? That copy is what matters now. So I can have 1 million copy in my possession. Okay, then my decoration. I can build my archive. So you read dumping himself somewhere along the way. That comics, according to him, comics up to now has not produced the copies, any copy to any of the political leader. But it's the same Ure who also says that when he heard this thing, he took phone and started calling the other parties to send the copies that they have. So which copy are we talking about here? Okay, so from that original version, each party got their copy. I agree. Comics took the original copy and out it before taking it to NEC. Oh, really? Interesting. Okay. Good. You know, reasoning. So Cummings, after the finish, everybody finish getting a copy, then Cummings when he took that original copy. I don't know. I don't I don't know which one was original. So the one they sent to NEC is original. The one everybody else got was what? Duplicate. Is that what you're trying to say? My friend, I don't have political loyalty. I don't have political loyalty, and don't make it seem personal and telling me that I'm confused. I'm giving you my version or how I feel about it. I'm giving my opinion. So you can also give your opinion. You don't need to say I'm confused. You don't read my mind. I don't read your mind. What you put out is what represents you. And what I put out is what represents me. That doesn't mean that I'm confused. So you can view my output the way you wish. But you don't base on it to say my political loyalty is confused. You don't know who I'm loyal to. Whether you're loyal to Joe Walker or you're loyal to Nobley or you're loyal to Cummings or who are you loyal to. I am also at liberty to be loyal to anybody I want. Okay. And so you don't know who my loyalty goes to. Okay. And like I said, I'm at liberty. You are at liberty. Okay. You can even go sleep before your political leader house. That's your right. I can sit here and talk for my political leader. It's my right. So you don't need to delve into that. Since your exchange, I've never gone to that extent. But I'm not forcing with you, though. I'm only trying to set your record straight. But so folks, this is the thing. So if I were to quote the judge in the judge presiding over this case, what I will focus on is not how many copies Cummings have, how many copies Ure have, how many copies Waka have. No, I will go to NEC. NEC, no, NEC is in existence. NEC has not been dissolved. You don't need to ride what do you call that, parachute to go to NEC. You don't need to ride spacecraft to go to NEC. You don't need to ride a submarine to get in a submarine and dive to the bottom of the sea to go to NEC. Okay, you can call NEC on the telephone, and the judge is most powerful. The court is powerful. The court can call NEC. NEC will present the copy. There is no constitutional ruling that NEC cannot present a copy to the court if there arises any confusion. I think that's why the court is there. So what the judge or the court is supposed to do is to call on NEC and say, no, listen, we got a case here. The court is part of the governmental system. So it's very easy to get to each other. I, as an individual, if I go to NEC and request the copy that was sent to them, it might take me long. I might need a lot of requirements, but the government can call. The court can call. So what I'm saying here is, I don't know if it will make sense, but what I'm saying here is that it's very easy. Disregard how many copies who got. Let NEC present that copy. That was, because the government supposed to, the prosecutor is supposed to gather evidence. And in gathering evidence, you got to go every corner. You got to go every height and depth to be able to get your evidence. So if it means that they can go to NEC, because let me tell you, Cummings can have his copies and say, no, that's the copy I have. It's what we signed. Vaga can have his copy. That's the one we signed. So everybody will say, this is the one we signed. This is one my signature on. Okay? And who told you that since Benona does not want to see, let me say that, does not want to see Cummings at all in a race? Who told you that they can also go and alter the copies that they have and put different signature on it? Who told you that? So who told you that it's not Cummings who can alter? I mean, we got to be fair here. You accuse, Cummings can also say, no, this is the copy we have. You check that on a copy. And if they check that copy, you must see that they have also altered, they have changed names or some things. So it's both ways. So NEC is the only clear evidence here. Let NEC present the copy that is in her possession, and then they can compare. So, Cummings can also say, no, this is the copy we have. You check that on a copy. And if they check that copy, you must see that they have also altered, they have changed names or some things. So it's both ways. So NEC is the only clear evidence here. Let NEC present the copy that is in her possession, and then they can compare. too much for that. But my concern is the 72-hour ultimatum given to Mr. Cummings. What if Mr. Cummings does not present the copy? Surely it's going to end up like the Brani Samuka case. Mr. Cummings is going to be ordered by the court to either present the copies at the expiration of the 72 hours ultimatum or deadline. And if not, the court might order Mr. Cummings to go to jail. And that's a real crux, the crux of the entire political game that is being played here. Now, you do need rocket science to explain to you that undoubtedly in the CPP, the man who has been moving the fastest is Mr. Cummings. And I don't know the reason why, but after the elections, Mr. Cummings has not rested. Probably Mr. Cummings saw his position. He was somewhere down the line, 5th place in the past elections. And he still feels that he could gain more grounds if he works hard. So since the election, Mr. Cummings has been working very hard. He has been reaching every village and hamlets of the country, everywhere. And so people have begun to know the name Cummings. So unlike Benona, who does not want to be president, but luckily for him, he can play his card and become vice president for some reason that I will not want to talk about, because it's just my suspicion. It's just what I think, my opinion. So Benona will do anything to be on the safe side. And Boakai, he being remotely controlled. Boakai is in between several forces. He's like between the blades of scissor, the kind of scissor, then position in the middle. Anything can be cut. So, and they also say if your hair is in a lion's mouth, you can knock the hair. So Boakai finds himself in a catch-22 situation. Should I lay on Benona's side? Because Benona, of course, does not like Cummings. This is Boakai thinking now. Should I lay on Benona's side, saying he doesn't like Cummings, so that he can do some of the dirty work for me? Okay. But then what can I give Benona? Then Nyomli is on the other side. Nyomli's party, the Liberty Party, in its original version, is a force to reckon with. It got votes. So should I lay on Nyomli's side also? But then what about, because Nyomli, if you look at the whole game here, Nyomli is not doing that much politically to fight for Boakai. Nyomli is not throwing a lot of punches as compared to Benona Yure. Benona is throwing all the punches. He's doing all the heavy weight lifting. He's lifting all the heavy weights for Boakai, simply because Cummings should not progress. So he's doing all of the heavyweight lifting. But Nyomli has the force, the normal force. You see? So then Boakai asks himself, should I lay to Cummings' side or to Ure's side, saying he's the King Kong that I have in the race now, the King Kong that is throwing all the punches? Or should I go to Nyomli, who has that powerful number that I need? Okay? So it becomes confusing. And then in Boakai's own party is divided, of course. This is not me talking. It's Unity Partisans who say Ellen has a group within Unity Party. So, understandably so, if Ellen has a group, as they allege, Unity Partisans allege, then the party is divided. And mind you, Ellen was former president. She still got power. In fact, the name Ellen scary. It makes Unity Partisans so scary. When they hear it, they are jittering. Okay, just mention the name Ellen politically. Unity Partisans and this is the woman who led the party for 12 years, ran on the party's ticket for 12 years. Liberian people are very important. They say, "Sim now." My man, go out where you scared you can get more. You can get more. I can put my mind to work and I try to read people's mind. It doesn't mean that I know that mind. I try to read that mind. Okay. No, you can read something that you don't know. If you don't, you can read something. Okay. So I try to read his mind. But I don't know what's on his mind, but I try to read it. So if I can read people's mind, I should go out go out where? Go and get more. You can get more. Who's your more? You want to get to? Or you want to get to? Move from here, man. No, man, I can't impact you after the show because I don't know who you are unless you leave a message for me in the impact and I'll know who you are. I can't impact you. No, I'm streaming via Facebook. I'm streaming via an app that goes to Facebook, so I can't see your name. I only see Facebook user. So I'm very, very sorry. And I know most of my guys here, most of you getting under my skin here, you are my men. You are my real guys. You're getting under my skin, but now when I pick you up, we'll meet on the other side. But it's good that you are here. Please share the video. And here is where we discuss the issue. This is the bottom line. We'll take a very short, quick break, and we'll come back. And when we come back, we'll continue the discussions. We'll be going the extra mile. So just stay right there, my guy. Do not go anywhere. I know who's doing this, and I will give you the due answers. So we'll be back in a few seconds. Okay, guys, welcome again. This is the bottom line. My name is Linford Goa, and I'm sorry that my other panelists are not here today, or they all busy, some engagements, and so I'm here tonight taking all of the pin, taking all of the bullets for I don't know their citizens or Unity Party members. But gentlemen, we all have somewhere where we stand on the divides, and of course, we all cannot be on the same boat. I will tell you something. You know why God made many colors? Because we all see different colors. And so now every time I go to the mall, people buy, I just stand and watch people buy different color clothes. Even if somebody went there who hate black people, they went in, I said they like black people. I can see them buying black shoes, black clothes. I sit and laugh. Because God is very smart. God gave us different ideas and different eyesights. That's why they say beauty lies on the eyes of the beholder. So we all just have to choose something. So I don't blame anybody if you last election I was supporting Joseph Boakai. Okay, but all along down the road, I found out that because in last election I knew that Joseph Boakai was better than George Weah. And any day, any hour, any time, Joseph Boakai is still better than George Weah in my view. Then after the election, along the line, I started to see that there is a new kid on the block, man. I mean, very, very, very vibrant, energetic. I mean, full of sense, ideas, development. So I said, no, listen, I think I got to switch around small. Let me try the man they call Alexander Cummings. And I want man, my friends who know me, they know that I'm always difficult to deal with. I mean, I told my people who just see me passing, people who know me personally that I've interacted with, they know. Down to my family, they know. I don't accept things the first time. It's very difficult for me to even buy in the store. When I go in the store, it takes me a long time to buy. That's why I hate to walk in the store looking to buy things. The time I want to buy something, when I enter the store, the very first one I see that my eye catch, I'll buy it because I haven't got time to, see. It's difficult for me to make a decision, but when I make a decision, my friend, you cannot erase it easily because there's a reason why I do that. Back to our topic. And so, like I was saying, if the 72-hour ultimatum is not met by Mr. Cummings, the next action, I may be wrong. The next action by the government might be to say, well, Mr. Cummings, you have disobeyed the court's order to present the copies of the document that we want from you that the Solicitor General is asking for. And this thing here is, it's like David against a Goliath. No, let me not use David, because David killed Goliath, though, through the power of God. But it's like a little Philistine against Goliath. He cannot win easily. You know, you take a 1-year-old child and throw him in the Atlantic Ocean. You think he's going to survive? No, he's not going to survive. There are several things in that ocean that the shark can eat him, the whale can swallow him, the water itself can kill him. So Cummings is in the midst of the ocean. Okay, he got political opponents from his own CPP that don't want to see him. Then you got a government, of course, who sees him as a biggest threat. Let me tell you, why people, some Americans think last elections, who was Cummings? What was the name Cummings? Was it important? I mean, Georgia could go to sleep. You can see Cummings all around the town whole day. You can draw Cummings picture everywhere. You can post his billboards last election. Joshua, you not even thinking about him. Joshua was worried about Joseph Numa Boaka. And Joshua even paid Costa to unleash some dirty words against the old man, called him dead man walking, which I wouldn't even want to say, because, I mean, this is a statement. Former vice president, no matter what, we can say all of the things, but I will not go that far. I'm a traditional man as well. So you look at this man who is somebody's father, somebody's great-great-grandfather, and his children will live. After the old man passes, his children will live, and we'll all live together again. His children and your children will live. You look at this old man and call him a dead man walking for God's sake. I mean, okay, let's forget about politics. Okay, the human mind can. Let me tell you, the guys you see standing in a court, calling themselves judges, they are nothing. They are just humans like you and me. It's just their career. The same way you got farmers standing on the farm working. The same way you got a doctor operating people. The same way you got the janitor sweeping the offices. The same way you got the musicians singing. That's why the lawyers are, or the judges are. But the real judge that we have is our conscience. That even if you go into hiding and do something, your conscience will tell you. That's why some people say, I got two men. One was telling me, do this. The other one said, don't do that. Allah. I only one man. But because of man can judge. Okay? So, I was not worried about or Cummings, who just came some 8 months or 18 months before election. We are no. Because there have been parties contesting elections long before Cummings came. You had the Liberty Party, then the Unity Party, you have on the other side, and you have other parties. So we are concerned was more about Unity Party. And he had a second concern, that was Liberty Party. Because Prince Johnson was in his pocket already for political reason. Now, so the name Cummings did not matter in 2017. We have to go to sleep Sunday, drink Henneken, XO, like Costa always said, because I'm not saying this, it's not me, because Costa knows him better than me. I've had interaction with him. We have one time in life. Okay? So Costa have been with him. So Costa said, man can drink Hennessy XO and get high. So we have to get high and drink Henneken XO and sleep, quoting Costa. There was nothing much about Cummings. But 5 years after, why has this Cummings become so important, the name Cummings, that everywhere citizens are afraid of the name Cummings? United Party is even more afraid. And guess what? This all of them they see people, United Party and Cummings, they see, but they're afraid of him. Now, I will give you a scenario here. During the war, 1990 war, we have the one warring faction, the MPFL, which broke into two. Prince Johnson from his IMPFL. We all know the story. So there were two. They were fighting each other until they reached Monrovia. But when they got to Monrovia, what happened? There were proliferation of warring factions. The first one started where? In Sierra Leone. And that was the disgruntled, I don't want to use that word on it. That was the remnant of the AFL and some kind of people who also felt that they could come back to their motherland instead of living. I can understand the whole thing, we all can understand. So there was proliferation of warring factions. We had a Ulimo, there was one Ulimo from the start, and according to one Ulimo general who was my friend in Kakata, who I was so close to, I slept at his house, we ate together, we did everything together. He told me the story. Roosevelt Johnson, they were nowhere around, okay, when they formed this thing, or Ama Yulu then and the boys. But because they were looking for influential people, so they went to arrest Roosevelt Johnson, where in the middle of the night, it was raining, he started crying, and they said, Papa, we'll carry you, we need people to back us. We can't do this thing alone. Now, you're depending on the men started crying, hey, my children, I'll show you, man, why you carry me? You want me to go die? You want to carry me? So, you know, they say, now go, Papa. The boy told me, all the bodyguards were there, they were testing. So that's how they brought Ulimo. But then, you know, the boys, they didn't have that much money, no influence. So they let Ahaji Kruman, may his soul rest in peace, my former boss at ELBC, and my former Paro teammate, and he was president for my Paro team. I love him so much. And Ahaji Kruman then, from the Madingo side too, and from the Madingo sentiment, knowing what was happening to Madingo people. So he went and rallied support somewhere in Guinea and Iran among some strong Muslim and Madingo people and the king. I'm quoting the Ulimo general. So that's how they brought Ulimo Ulimo K. But at that time, we're not Ulimo Ks. They all were one Ulimo. Then they entered Liberia. When they entered Liberia, then there was some power shift. The crab boys felt that, oh yeah, we started this thing. Okay. But because they didn't have money, the Maningo boys were taking over. Then they started having more because Krumah then were detecting now. I mean, of course, they say the one that pays the piper selects the tune. Say, I want the other song, you got to sing it, or else you will not get paid. So then the crab boy were just fighters, and the Maningo boy were the big boys. According to him, we were not there. I was way across the land on the other side. So I'm telling you your story, and I'll relate that story to the topic under discussion. And so, fast forward, Ulimo entered Liberia, and there were strong force. One Ulimo were fighting MPFL, the King Ground, they entered Poming County. And I guess some of you heard about, 6 days war or 7 days war in Poming County. And that was the split. That was the point where the two Ulimo split, and then they had a name, Ulimo K and Ulimo Che. Ulimo K meaning Ulimo Krumah, Ulimo Che, Ulimo Johnson. And that was merely Madingo fashion now and Crown fashion. Power play. The one that pays the piper selects the tune. So at one point, the Ulimo Che were almost suffering and no money, nothing. And the Ulimo K, they have money and they started getting some weapons. You know, they have money can do anything. So whatever went on, we had 2 Ulimo factions plus our MPFL, Prince Johnson. So there are 3 factions against the MPFL. Now, I'm telling you a story, I'll relate it. Then, as time went by, the AFL in Monroe was still a little bit strong too. They started getting support from ECOMOG, and there was a civil war in Monrovia. Okay, from Autopos, that war continued. From 1991 Autopos, that war continued. So it was AFL, the remnant of the AFL, assisted by ECOMOG, LIBERIA, that was formed by Madison. Was it? Yeah, Madison Maddow. Okay, and then I think Brandon Samuka was somehow related to that. You guys know the story well. So I'm just naming the factions. Then King George Poley. Okay, so that Ulimo J, Ulimo K, Prince Johnson, AFL, Black Beret, and George Poley group. How you call them? Yeah, George Poley group at least. So it was about 6 factions against what? MPFL. So the relationship to this story that I just told you, to this topic under discussion about comics and the CPP and the government, is that comics have become like the MPFL of those days. He got all the other enemies, even from within. Here's the one big enemy that they want to get rid of, because they see him as the strongest force. But if you move comics from the picture, what happens? All the people that have conglomerated against comics, they will become like the Ulimo that were once Ulimo, they will split. So eventually, the government of Liberia we start to protect the interests of the CDC that George Weah leads. Even though they have, like me, I'm giving the worst case scenario. They have been successful. They have become successful. Move coming from there, put coming in jail. Cummings cannot run anymore. Okay, that's a scenario right there. I'm not accountable to you. You ask me, Mr. Mewa, you say I'm not accountable to you. If you get bring, you listen. If you get here, you listen. You get bring, you analyze. So you move Cummings from the race, put Cummings in jail, do anything to Cummings. Cummings is out. So the Ure party that was suing Cummings, trying to get Cummings out of the whole race, the United Party, they will all have their own interests. And remember, in one of Bernard's explanation to Costa, he said the four parties went together, each had a motive of taking power. He said it, each have a motive. So no party went over there to say, okay, I will dissolve myself and put myself under the other party. No, it was not that. They all went as equal. So that's why when United Party people start talking about this stupid nonsense about, oh, we have the number portion. Whether you have 1 million people, when you went in our CPP, you were neutral. Everybody was equal. Somebody who had one person, okay, and somebody who had 1 million, all went there, you all one. So forget about that zero thing about. And then you're talking about you get number. You get number from 5 years ago. You think you put that your property, you get tired somewhere, you put any box, you see them after that election. Then time for another election, you go open there and say you cannot go vote. Nonsense. You're put on thinking cap. That one has zero case. Two things might have happened. Either your numbers that you had in 2017 might have increased tremendously, or it would have decreased tremendously. So that two things you should be considering. So forget about that nonsense about you get number. Nonsense. Okay, so like I was saying, so you had 6 warring factions that were against the MPFL. But what happened? Each of them had their own interest and decided to fight each other. April 6th in Monrovia, the biggest war. Who were fighting who? The same Ulimo people, Ahmad Yulu and Roosevelt Johnson were fighting on the other side. Aji Kroma and Taylor then were on the other side fighting. You know, so you see. So all a conglomeration of people against Cummings is for one idea. Cummings have become the most, and that, let me tell you, what they're doing now has promoted Cummings a lot. It has made Cummings to become the strongest. You see, because the name Cummings, like I said, it didn't matter 5 years ago. No. I mean, who cared about anything called Cummings those days? No. Cummings was just one of, because we had 26 or 27, 25 people in the race. So Cummings was just one of them, the people platoon, so to speak. But what made it Cummings so important now? I thought that by now, people would say, oh no, man, whether Cummings force document or whatever, we get time for him, he ain't got no more. Cummings get no more, so why are you worried about him, man? Cummings in 1st place. In fact, Costa said Cummings will go to 6th place now. So then why are you worried about him? You're leaving your walk out and CPP and go, you forget about him, man. We ain't got no number. Okay? But you're the usual lazy politicians. After elections, all they go and relax. Okay? All the little funds that you solicit when you lose the election, the little bottom money that will remain, you sit there and enjoy. When election getting closer, you start going to your donors or your party members, you start pressing them to pay dues, then you take that money when you use it, when you sit there again. And the stupid partisans, people who say the party matter, they are the one to blame. Because the stupid, they use you over and over. Okay? Tell me, all the political leaders that you guys been backing from 1847 until now, which one of them look like you? Or which one of them you look like? Okay? Okay? Let me take this call from North Carolina. Hello, sir. Oh, madam. Hello. Who are you? Hello? Can you hear me? Yeah, this is bottom line. And what you do, listen to me through the phone and not on your device.
Yeah, I'll listen to you through the phone.
Yeah, okay. And what's your name?
My name is Fred. I'm the guy who's been bothering you.
Okay, Fred. Yeah, you really been bothering me. So what's your take on this whole issue?
You know, I'm sure you're probably getting a very good point about your candidate.
Mm-hmm.
Regarding the case that is ongoing, I'm not a bigger person.
Yeah.
I'm not going to pretend. I think we all should allow the bigger process to play out. I know we don't believe we are suspicious of the court system.
Okay, but will you agree with me, Fred? Will you agree with me that no other copy of the document will matter at this point? For me, if we look at it logically, no copy matters much as that which is with NEC. Will you agree with me on that?
Well, I mean, all the other copies matter, but Collins submitted a document to NEC. So the court is trying to force him, you should have a copy of that document submitted.
Yeah, but if we agree, partly that the copy with NEC is the one that matters most. So why would somebody want to go after the copy with Cummings?
Because if you want to catch a criminal, you catch them by the ring. So if Cummings is subpoena him to produce the copy, because if he produced the copy that they are asking to produce, and it is different from the one later on subpoena from the NEC.
Okay, but then let me ask you one more question, Fred. Let's make it interactive. Let me ask one more question. The copy that is in question that was forged, is it the one with NEC or is it the one that is allegedly with Cummings?
Well, the copy that is with NEC is the one that has been subpoenaed. I mean, that has been altered. But Cummings, you have a copy of that document.
No, but then why? Listen. So how does a copy with Cummings become necessary? Because the copy that was the copy that was filed to NEC is the one that was altered according to you, right? So if that copy was the one that was altered, that copy should be taken from NEC and brought so that Beno Nayure or Bwaka or whoever will carry their own copy. Just forget about coming no copy, but let the three of them carry their own copy. Okay, and say, okay, this is the copy we get. Bring the one from NEC and let's compare it. Forget about the one we're coming get. Okay, so because sensibly, if Cummings can forge the one that he sent to NEC, it's also possible that he can forge the one that's with him. So forget about that. So let's agree that both are forged. The copy with Cummings and the one to NEC they are forged. So let Bwaka, Nobly, and Beno Nayure bring their own and let NEC bring the one that NEC got and then let it compare it. Where do you stand on that?
You know, that's a good argument you're propounding, but the legal system doesn't work that way.
No.
The legal system is not the budget. I mean, I gave you that. The legal system don't work the way you're asking.
Yeah, but you just told me before that you are now a legal person. So I will not trust your judgment.
I mean, and that is fine. I did some law courses, and I must tell you, I took a law. I mean, test in legal course. I thought I was open book test. And my professor, a Jewish man, called me.
Did you pass?
He asked me, why did you fail test? Yeah, I failed because it's the law doesn't work the way you think. Yeah, because the open book test. It was of course we go from Liberia, and when his class on this particular test, he gave it to us, and we feel you're Jewish woman. He called in the office and said, he used to call my African brother. How you okay? And we explained to him, he said, no, the legal process doesn't work that way. It's not the way you must say. You see cases that you work, the country you live in, you see cases sometimes you think they are going to be decided on the way you think. But, you know, the legal system doesn't work that way.
Yeah, okay. Okay, but then let me ask you, Fred, let me ask you. You said that people coming and talking about the case, it tends to undermine the case, the court or what the court decision or whatever, or it shows that Mr. Cummings is weak. Do you honestly believe that this case should be a secret case? Because the reason I'm asking you is that the Solicitor General of Liberia wanted television camera in a court. So meaning that there is nothing secret about this case. Anybody can, because once you put television there, it will be open. Okay, so anybody can say anything about this case. So why do you worry? Oh no! Listen. The reason I'm asking you is that the Solicitor General of Liberia wanted television camera in the court, meaning that there is nothing secret about this case. Anybody can, because once you put television there, it will be open. Anybody.
People will know that he was being politically pursued. But if he continued this demonstration in his own guilty, which I believe questions that go on, you already know that some the people from the court are going to sue you for some money. I don't know, they did it from the court. And another person that was injured, they're going to sue him. You know, so these demonstrations are not necessary. We know our legal system.
Yeah, but listen, listen, on our legal system, all citizens have the right to assemble, whether demonstrate or peacefully, but we have the right. The outcome of what we do is what matters. So why will you be afraid? I mean, it is our right.
The demonstration is not a thing, but it has not gone peaceful. That's what I'm saying.
And why? Okay, but why are you afraid? The people who did it, they took responsibility. The government grabbed some people and jailed them, right? So why? So yeah, but so why will you be afraid, or why would one be worried?
You remember the last time they showed those letters that got teacher for nothing? They were brought there thinking that comments were going to give them something.
No, listen, Fred, let me tell you, Fred, I don't know you, but Fred, I don't know you, but I think you sound like a guy who probably I can have some faith in. No, who tell me, who in that right mind, my friend, even if you didn't go to school, okay? I know you and I, we are traditional people, all from Liberia, got some connection way in the interior there. My late grandmother who didn't go to school, nobody will just go and see us. They can't get any car. You go, let's my gain money. When you know the person, you know the person, and you never work for the person. So who in that right mind?
No. The woman said they have talked to comments, and some people from his party.
Yeah, but they don't work for company. No, let me tell you. All that thing I know, I got somebody. I got somebody who told me those people were paid. Look, the guy who was talking, the guy who was doing the interview is not a journalist. He doesn't work for any radio station. Tell me one credible journalist that talked to those people. The man he didn't even know how to ask questions. So that was a stage play. And Costa, the Costa that I know, I've been following Costa from the onset. Costa would have been very excited about that thing, the way Costa was introducing the whole thing. So let's lay that one side. But one thing I will let you to know is that the people who demonstrated. Yeah, no, because there is no essence. No, it's not important. It's not important. I know it's a blinking lie. It's a blinking lie that somebody will just tell you can't go, come and say can't go get money.
You really believe that's a lie?
I believe. And do you really believe it's a truth?
Yeah, it will be true.
Oh, it could be true. Thank you very much. You just use a keyword. You know, as a journalist, I always know for keyword. You say it could be true. So I believe that it could be lie. So that lays the whole case to rest. But that's why I told you. I just told you, Fred. I just told you. Let's put that on one side. He said, "Why should we leave it? Why should we put it on one side?" Because there is no merit in there. There is no truth in it, Fred. But you cannot confirm it either. But you cannot confirm it either, Fred. You cannot confirm it either.
Most of the information you and I are presenting, including the framework document, is a second-hand information. So people who misinterpret it and give their own verdict, of course, our society is known for that.
Yeah, but
the story,
yeah,
and whatever they want to.
And that's exactly. I'm happy that you mentioned that. That's exactly what you have been doing, because you believe whatever people say is what you think is true. Now, I read most of your comments.
No. I have my own mind. I can think for myself.
Of course, everybody can think for themselves, but what they think is what matters.
Where there is smoke, there is fire. Mr. Comey is not entirely innocent of this case. And I mean, once to Liberia, I know you really want to be president. I don't see a platform. I don't see a platform. I know you're trying to say all these things. You are there. I have spoken to Mr. Comey in person. I mean, on the phone. I mean, I don't see a platform. Unless you work this collaboration work. I don't see a platform. You can't beat your house until even get that one-to-one contact.
Okay, so then why they worry about him? Why can't they just forget about him? But anyway, Fred, let me listen. Let me continue. Let me continue with my discussions. And it was good that he.
Go away and show they can't ignore him because he committed a crime, and I think they started resolve the thing. How he was very.
Okay, you see. You see, you are breaking your own law. Previously you said the case is in court, and so people should start coming and be talking for Mr. Cummings. But at the same time, you even found Mr. Cummings guilty before the court's decision. So I know exactly where you stand. Okay, so if you are not a supporter, you always find him guilty. But anyway, it was good talking to you, Fred, and I encourage you to always join me to have such a discussion, and that will help our people to understand, because some of what you said might help somebody to think also, and what I'm saying have also triggered you to say what you said. So I thank you a lot, and we hope to see you next Tuesday, because we'll be coming with more hot topics, and when all of my guys will be here. Thanks a lot, and have a nice day. Well, guys, you just listen. I don't know how audible was my guest, Fred. He was calling from North Carolina, and I mean, he has a different version of the story, and he has a different opinion, and I have a different opinion, and of course, it's quite understandable, because we both are on the two sides of the divide. But like I was telling you, this whole thing about comics is not about free word document, nothing. Okay, the thing here is that comics has become a household name in Liberia. So something must be done to get rid of comics. Okay, something must be done to get rid of comics that have become a household name. So in order to get rid of him, you got to find something about him. And the case is on. And like I told you, what happened to Granny Samuka might likely happen to comics. Okay, and giving the analogy about throwing a 1-year-old child in the middle of the ocean. That child will not survive. Several things there that can happen to that child. The child will get drowned naturally if he's not eaten up by a shark or swallowed by a whale. Something will happen to him. He cannot survive. And this is driving to something else. It's becoming like, targeting political opponents. And like I said, mind you, the story I gave you about the warring faction, the proliferation of warring factions during the war in Liberia, the same thing could come to play. I'm not talking about war coming. What I'm saying is that all the warring factions that were against the MPFL, they had one big enemy. But within themselves, they were not friendly. Okay? So, like I was telling you, the Boakai cannot lay wholly and solely on Yobli's side. And he cannot lay wholly and solely on Uri's side either. Okay? And in his own party, he got division according to his own partisans, the Unity Party people. They say Ellen is still playing some games in there. So Boakai is not really sure of anything here. Okay? Boakai, besides the age and the health issue, he's not sure of anything. Boakai is unsure. Let me tell you one thing. Boakai is really, really unsure of anything. Okay? So, like I listened to Menipage Dumoy. Menipage Dumoy said something today that I really believe in. He said, like, the strength that Boakai has right now, the only strength that Boakai has right now, or my co-host is trying to get on, Jamel. So forgive him, or he's trying to adjust actually his camera there. So don't get distracted. But Boakai has been wanting to his credit that in the whole political race, and that thing that he has to his credit, or that it depends on, is that he's the standard bearer or the leader of the Unity Party. But take away the Unity Party leadership from Boakai, who is he? Nothing. Former vice president. Okay, an old man who is we all know. No, listen, I was once a young man. I'm old already. Okay, things that I used to do when I was young, I don't do them anymore. When I see them, they look so hard for me. So Boakai, who could be my father, if you subtract my age from him, there is still half of my age that he will carry. So I try to put myself in his shoes. When he was my age, long time ago, he could do many things. But at his age, he should be relaxed. He should be somebody the whole CPP should not even be about, the whole CPP leadership should not even be about Bwaka. You know, for me, that's what I thought. The same way some people believe that Cummings should have just gone and say, okay, JMB, I can be your vice president. I still believe that Bwaka should have been inside there in the CPP as the real political godfather that we talk about, that will decide. He said, oh, hey, listen, guys, I'm the mayor, I'm the father here, I have been vice president, I have served in government many years. I'm older than all of you. I can take the decision. When this whole CPP rancor started coming, the first thing he should have done was call Ure. Say, Ure, what you say? Jamel, are you hearing me? So
yeah, Lineford, I'm hearing you very loud and clear.
Okay, very good. And then I'm hearing you very loud and clear. So welcome. Folks,
Thank
we're sorry that Jamel had to come late, but I mean, better late than never. So I can see him smiling. I think he got some things to add up. But like I was saying, I'll come to Jamel later on. But Waka should have played this role as the godfather. People call him Prince Johnson political godfather. Waka is the real godfather of politics in Liberia now, given his age and experience and time in government. He should have been there and said, "Oh, what did I hear you say? The CPP framework document, what happened to it?" No, gentlemen, you're not happy. Everybody, you're clear. You're bringing people you get. Don't lead to the table. The four of them in the room. No journalist, no secretary, nobody. Nobody inside it. What you see, page by page, line for line, they read it and see it under his supervision. And when he finds something, Cummings, what did you do here? Or you what you say coming there? They can solve that whole thing right there. And Bwaka, the whole leadership of the CPP should not be about Bwaka. You can't see his age and experience and why. And then people talk about desperation, say coming desperate. No, my son and I cannot be running beyond. We can't go. We want to play on the same team. My son and I. Then who is desperate? Me. Because I've done what I could do. So why I can give my children a chance to do what they can do? And let me advise them. Jamel, welcome. We've been talking about the whole ultimatum given Mr. Cummings, 72 hours. And if he doesn't make good on the ultimatum, what will happen to him? And I was just opinionating that he might end up being a Brandon Samuka where a jail sentence will be passed on him, and automatically he will be out of the race or if not totally out of the race, but his ability to perform as one of the candidates will be diminished. I don't know if you think anything otherwise.
I mean, exactly, you said it right. Yeah, this is a political vendetta. We know what's happening. You know, in Liberia, is George Weah government against Cummings because they said Cummings was nobody, and now he's somebody. Everybody's afraid of him. He presses alone, they scare him. They scare every one of them. So they're after him to get him. The worry is they may pass the judgment, just you said roughly, they may pass the judgment on him. Now keeping at least out of the picture or chasing out of the country. So then it will be a judge. We are sure. That's all about it. We know that. We are happy in the country. This guy, if you follow the story of the late Charles Bumsky, when he became a political figure, a political entity, I mean, a political power force in the country, Taylor chasing out of the country. He was like when he invited for the job. Everybody knows that he left the country. He was chased out of the country. Went to America. I know anybody in power. We know that this guy had allowed him up to his sleeps. George will allowed him to his sleeps against Mr. Cummings. He felt that he had different strategy for the old man JMB, feeling that JMB has no chance anymore. Then he turned the game on the ABC Alexander Cummings, feeling that this guy have a power. When he got to the chest, there's no way he can hold this guy like there's no crime against Cummings in Liberia. So they ought to put something against him to make him lower. They want to put that man behind the bar right now. What happened? The weaken his position, the weaken political position. We know that's going to happen. So the fact of the matter here is, I know Mr. Cummings he's a law-abiding citizen. He's going to wait and see how the outcome look like. But ANC is putting up fighting up the game. They're going to make sure this guy will not win against ANC. I mean, we know we are game. You know what's happening. The last time we saw all over the place, we broadcast with chiefs all over the place. When we don't have food on the table for our Liberians, everybody going to sleep hungry. When people have not got a salary for 6 months, they buying car for chiefs. Chiefs don't even have money to put gasoline into the cars. Everything happening. You know the game, man. So what you just said, you said it right. Nothing wrong about that. Exactly what's going to happen.
Okay, but there's this one question that I've been asking myself. 2017, This is a new or Johnny just come in the political arena. So nobody cared about him. And I remember having one meeting with Mr. Cummings via Zoom, and I asked him this question: what has changed about you that make you think that you can even make, the presidency at this time around? He said, I asked myself that question. He said, he told me that. He said, I asked myself that question. What have people seen about me that they worry about me now? Because 2017, nobody thought about me. Nobody, cared about Cummings. And he said, everywhere people went, in some places, the name Cummings was totally absent. Nobody, in some of the voting precincts in the interior, they will say, but who they call Cummings, we know. But now, at least the name Cummings is spreading like wildfire. So then, what has changed about this Cummings that even within the CPP, people are fighting him, and the government is also seeing him as a threat? Has anything changed? Do you think so?
Yeah, like Kobe has understood the politics, the geopolitics of Liberia. He's a formidable force right now. What he has done over the years from 2017, 2018, let's agree, up to now, he has studied the political climate of the country, dynamics. He know how to move around. See how he's connecting. See how he moved. People say he was a businessman. Now a businessman turned to a politician. I mean, he understood the game. This guy has committed himself to follow every length and breadth of the country and understand the geopolitics of the country. How long to understand Liberian politics? The thing is, they are not. It's like he's giving it time. He's a smart guy. He reads, he understands, he learns very fast. So he have changed. He got close to the people. What he has done, he has got close to the people a lot. He has got to the heart of the people. He talked about the bread and butter issue of the country. That's why getting a change a lot. You speak to the Liberian now. You speak to the ones speak to the Liberian. You speak on the issue. Once you do that, people understand who you are. It's not about your size, your look. But I mean, some people may have a natural luck that the people like them. But coming has found his way through to the heart of the people, and he look electable right now. It's a material that you can elect, you can present anywhere. So that changed a lot. He made a lot of great impact so far.
Okay, there is something again. Entry, my other guest, panelist is coming on entry, so it's going to be like a full house now. But one thing again that I also pondered to myself, um, we're always fighting against Mr. Cummings. Let's say Mr. Cummings is out of the way, and then you got a Ure, you got the Bwaka, you got a Nyobli, and then in one in one corner, then you got a Wea. They're all fighting Cummings. What if you move all these people? You think they can all come together? So what is it going? What do you foresee? Do you foresee a Ure or Cummings? I mean, or Ure or Nyobli and Bwaka coming together? You know?
Live for you see these things clear picture. They are fighting against the community. They don't have their house in order. You saw that.
Okay.
That's the first thing. There's a complete this. They are the house is the house is dismantled. First and foremost, they need to put a house in order before they fight against them. They are just all four or three parties fighting against one man. So you need that they can even fight against we have strategy against all of them. The only thing you can do to Mr. Kome is just put a criminal case against him, lock him up, and just all chasing out of the country. But I'll tell you, Mr. Ure, the JMB, and our sister Laurie's Normally, the three cannot even come together. You see the complete this dismantle group. So how can they fight against Weah? Weah has a strategy. He know how to kick them out of the game. The winning person is worried Weah right now is coming. I'm telling you something. That's why the case is against him. He can't fight against Weah. Weah got a strategy against him. He know them all. You know that to the fingertip. They're all living to the whims and whims of caprices and whims of Weah. Look at JMB. He told us that he pays out for JMB medical bill. You know how he pays the money that goes to the pocket of she's a senator now. He can already strangulate her literally from that senate. He know how to do that. He know about her. Bernard Ure. He's a businessman. His company that's doing this MTN business doing. There's a way to kill him politically. He will not. They will finish him. So he had the strategy to kill them. Well, but for Mr. Cummings, there's no way you can grab him. No way. The only way you can hang him to his neck or choke him up politically is to just put a crime against him, do trump up case against him. That's what happened, boss. That's what happened.
Well, I sometimes come to the conclusion that, at the end of the day, what's going to play is that Mr. Weir gets support from some corner, probably from the ANC corner, and for me, a little bit technical. Get coming from the way. How did Cummings get out of the way? It was Cummings' own CPP that got him into trouble, and the government capitalized on that and got him all the way. So, election remains between whoever, Bwaka or whoever. So, why you think ANC people will automatically lay, on which side? For me, a little thing ahead, a little start thinking
Yeah,
on the
listen.
impossible.
What our ANC is doing right now, if Liberty Party put their ass together under the leadership of Chamability, there's a chance that they can get the vote of ANC. One, if they put their act together. But in no way ANC members, the Daha ANC member, 80% ANC member will get a support to Mr. Welfare and Benana way for you. No way. GMB playing a smart game, sitting quietly, behaving, nothing happening. It has nothing to do with it. This is happening. I had nothing to do with it. It's what is his name? It's a Ure is taking the case against Cummings. So he want to get vote all angle. He want to get support of angle. He want to be sympathetic to ANC and also befriend Ure. He's sitting there saying nothing. As an older man, he's an aged man. He used to tell us he's the most experienced man. He told us in one of the interviews he's the most experienced man in the government. In fact, traditionally, you said in one of your comments right now, he doesn't even know how to talk about your kids that are having trouble in the house. How many times he has made an attempt to call them? If there's an issue, let's agree that we will fight the case in court. But how many times he has made an attempt to speak onto the issue? He said, this is the thing about power. And also, so you talk right now about the woman being very, very, the word you use right now with regard to is desperate. Who is desperate? I spent 12 years working. I spent my life in government. I spent 12 years as the second man in the country. I still want to be president. Who is desperate? Where's the desperation? Comey wanted to change. It's an alternative. He want to bring change to the country. You've been there. If we accuse Madam Shalio of corruption and other crimes in the country, you don't want to support that. They told us he was a race car put in a garage. That comment is now used. Look, the thing about it is almost like when you follow Liberian politics, it sounds like we are jokers. Seriously. You don't do this one in the West. You kick you out. You know what's happening in UK right now? Just a party. This guy organized a party. The Prime Minister organized a party during the time of COVID. Yeah, he said not to acknowledge. They're after him. His own party people are after him. They are voting to get him out. Not everybody. His own party said he lied to the people.
Yeah.
Whereas like the president is $60 billion guy missing. Case is dead. Nobody knows what's happening. $25 million was going to Moscow to take a much other currency out of the market. Nobody knows about it. People in the country, civil servants have spent 6 to 9 months. Let's say they have no pay. They telling me that you still want to vote. Then you buying cars for chiefs and other thing. Find your way through. You're trying to come up with a plan. You want to build hospital. A road network. You want to build marketplaces. What are you talking about? I keep saying this is insult to our intelligence. But the thing about it is like my brother in Liberia, we all hang on to the when we in power, we hang on. We are kind of, how do you say that? We are liability. We think that if Linford is in power, he's one deputy minister. I'll go to Chihuahua Saturday. I'll survive. But then what you don't know, the lives of all Liberians are also they're living on the misfortunes of our people.
Yeah,
this is what's happening. If you take, let's agree that consider. Yeah, that you take Mr. Cummings out of the way. The low chance, the only sympathy party would be Liberty Party because they've been with her all along. The real Liberty Party that you want this guy commands control, Mr. Ability, House Ability, Musa House Ability. That's the only one we can support right now. And if you don't put it, they can put a candidate. They need to come and put a candidate up right now. That will see a political candidate. They have to put a hospital. Other young lady does not. She form her own party with DeLong because eventually they have to. They can't even join. You see what's happening. The whole thing is dismantled. Yombly took the old man to GMB to Basa the last time for
a political party.
Yeah, Yombly didn't. I mean, you how you call him? Because that something something was smelling there. He wanted to be the second man. I know the international community saying that you can't be the second man because we know his record. He supported war machines. There are a lot of things happening. The only sympathy the people outside here in the outside the international community have support a little bit of respect for Mr. JMB because he was with Madame Salif. And Madame Salif is well recognized outside, well
Yeah.
respected. Whatever she did in the country,
Mm-hmm.
they don't care about that. But she got a lot of respect outside. So if you travel out there, listen to him. But I'll tell you, Ben, you come outside tomorrow. Then you travel out to Europe, you would arrest him. They were arresting. I'm telling you something. They were arresting.
he say you don't want to, because I say the man want to go anywhere. But
The
just before I
main
bring
one
in,
is travel.
They
just
were
before I bring in
arresting. So that's
Andre,
the reason. Yeah, that's the reason. That's the reason he can't travel. And how will you
mhm.
make that your country president when you can't even travel and attend to that? Look about the president George Weah. The only way he goes to the United Nations, the only best country he has traveled to is France, Europe. He has gone to France. When he's from France, because I think he had a dual citizenship, he got some relationship with the French government, or he was there for so many years to play. He has some nationality or whatever, some paper that allow him to live in France. So he's allowed to travel to France. Apart from that, well, tell me his 5 years in power. Where has he gone to? When
Nowhere.
Ellen was there, the first year Ellen was there, she was traveling like any other African Liberian president. She traveled everywhere looking for help. Everywhere she was going. On the plane, traveling everywhere. Attending speeches, giving speeches and stuff like that. I mean, look at the balance.
Just before Andre comes in, but one thing I've been thinking about, or I always ask myself, and if I had the opportunity, I will ask JMP this question. He said two things I will ask him. He said the their party, the Unity Party, for the 12 years, they squandered good opportunities. Now, he knew that he had ambition after the 12 years. He wanted to be president. He wanted to run. And then he sat there and agreed to participate and share the squandered opportunities. He didn't say anything. He didn't resign. He didn't talk anything. If he knew that he wanted to be president, why did he allow himself to be a part of a squandered opportunity? One, I wanted him to answer that question. Then the second thing is, he said Ellen packed him for 12 years as old car in a garage. Now I know my Ellen, with all her wickedness or whatever, as people will say, because she sponsored a war and all these things. But I know Ellen was politically sound or is politically sound, and she has some good advisors. That she will not see her vice president very functional, supporting her cause, supporting the cause of the government and lifting the government up, and she will not back that vice president. I mean, let's be frank. When Ellen took over, she went in the diaspora, she brought people home to work. Okay, so why would she pack her own vice president that campaigned with her during the hard days and they won and came to power, and then she would just turn around and say, "Go pack"? Something went wrong. So why? Why would that two people I would have asked? I would have asked Ellen Johnson this question or Boaka himself this question. But unfortunately, I have not had the opportunity to meet GMB. Ellen Johnson, I met her 2 times when she came here 2007. I met her with her for almost 2 hours, one-on-one chatting. She has just become president that time. Then the second time I met her again was 2011 when she came to do her Nobel Peace Prize, and I was there to make a program possible to be aired in Liberia through the Norwegian Broadcasting Corporation, and that's something I always credit myself for. Without me, people are not going to hear that program in Liberia. I'm taking my little glory now. But Andre, Andre, you've been listening. Was there something we said that you heard and you want to comment on?
You guys, I've been telling you guys from the onset of this case that it wasn't going to be easy. This is a conspiracy, well planned and organized, and we don't have to deal with them like children. We have to deal with them like men. Um, what is going on right now is really sad. It's a threat to our peaceful democracy that have existed all these while. And the international community, it's not, I will not say that they have been lenient with George Weah government, because according to them, they said they are watching. They are observing the situation very carefully. It's not that they maybe turning blind eyes, but they are looking at every move of this case, because this case has the propensity of causing problem in that country. The international community have spent a whole lot to take Liberia from where it was to bring it to this stage, to allow an incompetent president who the seditions has succeeded in turning into a total dictator. It is a problem that is coming on. And
But normally diplomatic protocols, the international, we don't expect the international community to come to Liberia and probably root George Weah or tell and say, oh, don't do this, do this. I think we elected him.
but
He's our president.
you know it is possible.
No,
If you
whether it's
look at
possible or not,
our
that's why I said
history,
diplomatically.
it is
Diplomatic is
possible,
possible, but it's not
because
feasible diplomatically. It has
it
happened
is
on a,
possible,
yeah,
because if you
listen to
look
me.
at the record of
It has happened on a few circumstances, like in the case of
Taylor,
Iraq, Saddam Hussein, and in the case of Libya. But those circumstances were
in
special.
the case of Charles Taylor, when he was also doing the same thing, killing innocent people, ruling the country like a total dictator, making people to live in fear. It's like history is trying to repeat himself. That's how it is. George Weah, who had been or so-called peace ambassador, now is president, trying to infringe on the right of another political party. It is unacceptable. It is unacceptable. And we're not afraid of Weah. Everybody cannot run away from that country. You are very corrupt. You building the first 6 months in your administration, you build a whole lot of mansion and luxurious and private jet, and then you didn't audit yourself, but you audited Bernie Samuka. We know Bernie Samuka is corrupt, but before you tell somebody they got soul on their feet, you must first kill your own soul on your feet. 15 billion got missing. No one can account for it. 25 million map up. No one can account for it. Your government is even worse corrupt. You are not auditing Samuel Tue, Nathaniel McGill, Bill Tuare, Jefferson Koji, Siabondo, all of these people who are building luxuriously all around the country, their children living on a daily basis, 10,000 US a day. You're not seeing that. You don't call that corruption, but you're going after people, witch hunting them. If you want to persecute Bernie Samuka, then you should persecute all of those corrupt people that are in the government.
you just brought in the Bernie Samuka factor, because that
Yes,
was
this is
where we were
something.
going to end up anyway. But it's
Yeah,
good that
this
you
is
brought it.
something that is causing. And let me tell you, Linfo, the international community, they used to rely on journalists within the country to give information out. But all of these journalists, majority of them have been bought by this
Yeah, but let me tell you one thing.
government.
The world has improved to the point where you don't even need one journalist to go to tell anybody anything. As long as what we're doing here, the people can see it. International community can see
No, the
it.
thing is, these people, they believe in being on the ground. They know that we are not on the ground, but we are getting information with regards to what is there. So in order for them to come out and speak without no saying, I think they want to speak on fact, they need to have someone on the ground. And these people that should be on the ground are journalists, but our
But
journalists,
there are newspapers. There are newspapers
some of
online.
them,
You got
but don't all of these
front page is
journalists,
online. Daily, so all the papers are online.
all of these people have been bought.
The underlying trivia entry is that. No, let me tell you, the international community. This is how they operate. They will come in. How long did we have war in Liberia? We had war for all the years until finally George Bush had to say, oh no, some arrangement that Taylor should leave. Okay, so how many people died before they would tell Taylor to leave? So it's the same situation. So if we, the international community, we are election, we are independent nation. We have all right, we got sovereignty. So we decide, we elect, whether we elect cat or dog, the international community will not say anything. It's our duty to live with that person that we elected. Okay. So if we feel that, and in the constitution, it's written there in Article 1, I'm sure, somewhere there, that the government is for the people and by the people, and the people they elect the government, they can mandate the government to do certain things that they want. Okay.
So
if we sit down, we Liberian, we are the one feed the international community is not feeding NFP. So we sit down, we put our head picture on there, we sit down.
Yeah, the international community is not feeling anything, but they are investing a huge sum in that country. All the money that you see,
this is diplomatic relations.
All those
diplomatic relations.
Do you know
that we elected government? So the government we elected, the international community can deal with them.
All those funds, all those money that the government of Liberia is using, these are all grants, all loans that tomorrow in the future.
But let me tell you one thing. I agree with you. One thing the international community can do, they can say, well, we're stopping our aid or we're reducing our aid. But again, remember that there are some of these things are on a certain agreement. Okay, the agreement is there long time. So whether I become president,
the agreement is there long time, but they cannot continue an agreement. You know what we are going to do now. If George will continue this issue that he's going on with Cummings, if he don't stop, because it is shameful. How can you take a man to court? You don't have a proof or evidence to back your claim, and you asking the same not perpetrator, but the defendant to bring in a proof for you to prosecute him. It is a disgrace. You degrade our the country's standard of judiciary. That's a disgrace. And now we will start to advocate. We have been talking about the judicial system is been completely messed up, for them to stop every funds that is going in that country, because George Weah has turned to a dictator. And let me tell you something, and Linford, there is a report. There was an Italian journalist that went to Liberia to carry out an investigation with regards to all of the abuse, most especially with regards to women and children within the rural areas, and everything that have been going, all the ritualistic killing, all these things that we are talking on Facebook, they see it, they hear it, all of the complaint that will forward to United Nations, the EU, and all of these human rights watch, human rights organization. They send people now to go and do an investigation, and this journalist brought a whole sum of investigation, 29 reports to the United Nations and the EU, and say, yes, this is why I found out about Liberia. This is what is going on. George Weah, you need to step back. Whosoever that you're getting that wrong advice from, you better step back from Mr. Cummings. Because if you think that you cannot stand competition, then you are leading on the wrong path. Get your hands off Mr. Cummings. It will not work. It will never work.
Okay, so I think we will be fair enough if we read some of the comments from our viewers, because I think they sincerely mean what they write here most time. So we read some. I know some do not really make sense, but again, we cannot decide what people write, and we cannot. So I don't know, Andre, you want to go through them fast, or you want me to?
Yeah, which one are we taking?
Start from the one that you say we heard. No, I heard you challenge this person. He said I challenged Cummings this morning, but somewhere there he mentioned Cummings. He said I heard you challenge Costa today, and I hope you be tolerant on this show. Oh yeah. There was a guy who came, I think it was a thing that I called one friend.
You want me
to be tolerant? Yeah. I think I need more tolerant than Costa, because Costa will cut you off.
you have your opinion, you make your opinion known. We are tolerant. We are tolerant. We are not like Henry Costa. And I don't even want to be like Henry Costa, because Henry Costa is a sneak and an evil person who somebody
Okay,
will
so
be
just
dying, they give them.
continue with the reading here. Let's continue with the reading.
Okay, with the next one I see here is um okay.
The first copy.
Yeah. The first copy that was signed, and that is the copy that was altered. Will you imagine?
Yeah. So that's where I got confused. So if they sign the first copy, and I don't know whether that one sheet or because the understanding according to Bernard himself, it will be 5 copies that each political party will have one, and then they'll take one to neck. So it means that everybody has a copy. So I don't know how whether coming went by again and start taking the copies from there and kind of and forge it and sign it and send it to neck and what it was. So I'm still confused. This is where I say I was confused. Then uh, he asked me whether I'm still confused. I said, yeah, I'm still confused, but I don't know. Then I said they were the one that were confused. So he wrote the second one. He said, no, can you go to that one? Yeah. You are mute. You are mute.
No, we are not confused. The original that was signed got altered. The contents of the original framework, I think you are confused. They signed the original and comments before that document, alter it and submit a different version.
Okay. And then I came in and told him, well, let's agree that Cummings forged it thing. And Cummings has some copy, but I don't know which copy again. If Bernard you said that Cummings forged it thing and then send it in, so which copy again they code one from him. So because the one that
That
matters
means
now.
that means he's already in possession of the so-called first copy that he's alleging. So he should be the one to present that first copy to the prosecutor.
Yeah, because because they are saying that the copy that after they all signed, they got a copy. The copy that Cummings was supposed to send to neck was the one he altered. So he sent it. So Cummings still had the other copy, then the other copy. So it means that everything on those copies will be the same. But the one that was altered was the one sent to neck. So then it will make sense. Instead of coming to ask Cummings for any copy, go to neck and ask neck for the copy that they get, and they bring it. So don't come to Cummings again, because it's that copy to neck that matters. No other copy matters in his whole case here.
Yeah. Linford, can I ask a quick question with this? You say the thing with altering the document, let's agree, consider allegedly that Cummings altered the document. And that document was submitted to NEC, right? NEC accepted the document, and he has been checking that document over and over, I think, during the period after the election of the December election, May 10 election. And they put a case up, and there was nothing wrong with the document. They accepted that particular document, and there was a group of lawyers put together. When the issue came out the last time, they went and investigated. There was nothing happening to the document. Now, the question I'm asking right now is, what about those that were elected during our May 10 elections? Will they affect them, their positions? Because that document that said that were forged and submitted to NEC, on that ground, NEC accepted that, and NEC accepted that, and that was put through. From there, the very people like Dillon and other people normally were elected, right?
Yeah.
From that document, because that was a framework document that came at CPP. They submitted that they had a re-election, like Yomli got a re-election, Dillon and other politicians got re-elected. So what will happen? What will really happen to the position of those that were elected? Consider that the document is finally considered altered. What will happen?
Fraudulent, yeah.
What will happen?
Then the NEC will have to revoke their election and certificate, because their elections their membership.
What I'm trying to say, yeah, that's why I'm sorry, I'm to agree with you. The thing is, they are not looking at other flip side of the thing. That is, let's agree that the court church consider, that they could pass a judgment like, why it's a fraudulent document. Therefore, what happened under that fraudulent document is not accepted by law anymore. So those that were elected during that period should be declared, null and void. So they should be annulled, right? They should be annulled. So therefore, are they not looking outside of the case? Why they're looking after Cummings head, they're going after Cummings head without looking at the other side of the case?
Yeah.
I'm just asking that question.
So let me tie in, very good point, Jima. So let me tie in the point I was making. Because in any case here, if that paper proves to be forged as the LS, that means those people that are elected on that paper will have to lose their status. Very good, right? Okay. So then, whether at this point, because Benona also accused Cummings of holding one copy that he had not given to all the people. Since that time, he not give all the copy here. That means Cummings saying one possession of something copy. So whether Cummings got 1 million copy, Benona got copies, and nobody got copy or whatever, those copies are just, they are not and void at all points. Okay? Since the filing of that particular copy to NEC, because it's that particular copy that went to NEC that made the CPP to be qualified, certificated, and made to run. So why would you come to come in for some copy you get? That's not trash. The one that you say get a trash, everything that trash. The one that matters now is the one to NEC. Let
Liberians
the code
are
NEC,
just used to lying. They just
let the code call NEC and say, bring this copy, let's compare it.
No, but you see, the thing is that what are they looking at? Like what we said, it's all case to go after Cummings or else. This thing here, they should not. The flip side of it, like it go after all the elected people. They will lose their very position. Their job will be their position. Elected position will be annulled, considered as null and void. I mean, they will annul it because if the let's consider the document was. I'm not a legal person, but if the document was forged, let's say, altered and is fraudulent, whoever was elected on that document, on that ground, because that document was submitted to NEC from the CPP on the ground as a collaborating parties. They give the document where we have together as a group. On this ground, we come together as a group. We're going to put our candidates' name, aspirant name forward for the various positions. Please select on this, consider on this ground. So they were elected on those positions. So next you withdraw those people that were elected and lose their real position and put up another by elections.
And NEC can also sue the entire CPP, including all of them for
fraud.
Fraud.
Because they signed the kind of
and they will not say no, their signature on it.
For false, they can sue them for false declaration because they declare falsely.
What is happening here? They think it will take an ugly turn, very, very ugly turn. Like it could bring down the country to its needs. And which one George will be putting his legs off, smiling and laughing, and that's what they want.
That's just a stupid man.
Yeah, this is why those guys are not saying. Like Bernard, you know, JB saying there, Uncle JB saying that, JMB saying that the thing in the world is in his favor. Why he doesn't know the country is going down the drain. If this happened, it could go the other way around. Lawyer who has advised ANC, look, you know what? Why are they doing that? One thing they're going to come over. I know eventually, if we don't push this in so far, they're going to come out of the case. We know what happened to Justice Jane. They doing out of his job for no reason, and now he went to ECOWAS court. I mean, the ECOWAS court is just a kind of, I don't know what kind of game they play.
ECOWAS has no impact. It's a shame.
Nancy Doe went to ECOWAS court. She won her case. She didn't get a dime from the government yet.
Up till now,
So those ECOWAS court, you can't wait for ECOWAS court. So if you want to get George Weah fired to his feet, that's the time. Or else they will pass a wrong judgment. And what will happen? They will embarrass Mr. Kumi. That's what they intend to do, to get him chase out of the country or put him in jail to make him lose his position at the moment. They're just making him unpopular. And the people in Liberia, they want to go for those who got, those who are present, who are physically present. If the man behind bar, what can he do? So do not let, they always say that before a man, you say, my man, don't let your friend man grab you in your hand. Before you fight, let him find a way to blow him before he gets your hand. If he got lay hand on you, let him be the first to blow you.
Yeah,
don't let him be the first to pour a blow on you.
Blow, anything that continue the reading our time. We've gone 2 hours already. Overstep our time very much.
The other one said, from that original version, each got the signed copy. Cummings took original copy and altered before taking it to NEC. I have a degree in political science and has worked with political campaign in the greatest country. I have a letter sent to from former President Obama. Your political loyalty is confusing you.
That was fair. He just wanted to boost a little bit.
Who saw his letter? He won't tell you that he got some connections too.
The man I went to law tell you open Pogo Ife.
The one
you can't pass that law tell you in Liberia.
The one sent to NEC is an altered version from the original framework copy signed by each political leader. NEC can subpoena.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. He said NEC can subpoena,
Can be subpoena.
but the legal system don't work that way. The prosecutor can subpoena the defendant, especially when the information is public record in a criminal case. If your argument about other leaders altering the document, Cummings can go to court and pursue the legal process. I don't know what you're talking
Oh,
about.
Yeah,
no,
you're making
here,
sense there. You're
yeah,
making a lot of
here,
sense there.
yeah, here. I said something. I
Mm?
said that since they said coming out of the document and took it to
Yeah.
reg, okay, and they
Mm-hmm.
also have other copies, and they have
Mm-hmm.
brought case against Cummings. How sure are we that they too have not altered their copy that they get with different signatures, so that when time comes tomorrow, when they court orders for all the copy they will carry, and they will
Mm-hmm.
all, because they are all against Cummings, so they will all
Mm-hmm.
have one with different signature and different version, and they say this is what. So nobody can trust anybody in the game here now.
But
See,
don't you think that DMB and Yomli can testify against Comey? You don't think
of
so?
course they will.
They've
But
been
the
approved.
thing, the thing that's going to happen, Cummings should not produce any document, and then that would leave the prosecutor in a position where they will
They-
have to subpoena the NEC to
No,
come and
no, they
testify
will
or
send him to jail. If he does not, they will pass the judgment. They will send him to jail. Trust me, that's how it happened in our
Yeah,
country.
I said it's the same Brandon Samoga scenario.
They will send him to jail. If he does not produce that document, they will make him unpopular. They want to send him to jail. That's what they're looking up to, and that's what they're leading to right now.
that
This is
problem coming. So
Go to
you're gonna
the next one.
Leah is looking for problem. How can you attack witch hunt a political leader of an
These things
opposition
happen around the
party?
country. I mean, around the world. People, dictators do that. So it's
We
nothing
have
new.
turned into dictator. Sedition have made we are to a dictator.
Go read this one here. This one.
Yeah. Oh,
You laugh.
okay, wait, I'm coming. If you are a mind reader, can you tell us what happened to the 16 billion that got missing? You just read Honorable Bwaka mind. See, they say Linford are mind reader.
yeah.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
I can support Lifo on that. They share the 16 billion. That's what they did. The big boys in the country share the 16 billion. Simple as
Yeah,
that.
they share the 16
Nothing
billion.
more.
How we
And
got money to
and
build
they
house
still
back?
got it in their houses. Still keeping the 16 billion in their houses, in their various houses.
Another money is already been printed recently. You know about the
Then the other one say Cummings is no threat to President. We are Joe Howard Taylor can defeat Cummings in a face-to-face. Look
Okay,
at
but
this
then
an
I said, but then
insult.
yeah, let the man go. You're leaving. Yeah.
This an insult. I don't even want you to call. You want me to can start attacking Joe Howard Taylor. Who is Joe Howard Taylor, by the way? Or
She's vice
ex-rebel,
president.
and wife? Who said
okay.
that our children are being raped? What
Yeah.
kind of ground you think Joe Howard
I'm
Taylor
saying
has?
continue reading. We know all the story here. Nothing can change it. Let's
But
continue.
wait, we will petition the United Nations for Joel to be indicted. And she can travel and there's a ban on her. She can go to America. Now the free
No,
traveling that she
she
have
can go
when
to
she ready.
she
She
can go to
coming to
Ghana.
Russia, coming to the other European country. They need to we would need to put in a petition to stop Joel from traveling and indict her. She is no victim. She
She can
was
go to
part of
Ghana.
the same
She can
system
go.
that destroy our country. She
She can go.
enjoyed with Taylor.
I
She
think she can
sat
go to
on,
all African
Yeah,
countries.
she can go to Ghana to her godfather, the
yeah,
godfather church.
she sat side by side with Taylor when Taylor was slaughtering innocent people and raping innocent girls. And she was even giving women to small children, infant to Taylor to abuse and virginate.
Where
Your
was
better
that?
stop.
During under Taylor regime?
Huh?
Yeah, you got to produce case against her. Then, if you got that proof, there's a good case. Though.
Oh, but that woman is an evil woman. Who,
Anyway,
who, who ain't get proof about her? All the
Okay,
videos I
anyway,
hear
continue on
on
the comment.
Facebook,
It's getting interesting here.
they
The
are
other
on
one say,
Facebook.
and
They
yeah,
are on
another free party
Facebook.
talking with confidence.
The recent one is where they more than me 50 girls were raped and infected with HIV and AIDS, and Joel went and sided with the perpetrators and tried to bribe the late children. You know, you can't bribe children because children will still talk. Those children came all on life and said it. That woman is not what they are saying is that Joel was a victim. She never had things. She was also abused by Taylor. It's a lie. The same thing that Joel was saying the first time that we are got in power. She said, it is their time to eat. It is their time. That was the same thing. During Taylor time, you know what she used to tell the people? If the people ain't joined the Dakpana movement, they will not live. So that woman is no victim. That woman is a perpetrator of all those evil acts. You see, she is a vice president to WIA. This is why all of the killing in the WIA government is going on. All of the killing, she packed all the rebel leaders and they there in our country under her command. The international community need to indict. When you're indicting where he needs and PYJ, you don't leave Joa Howard Taylor behind. She is one of the mothers of the revolution. She must be indicted. The Agnes Taylor, the Joa Howard Taylor, all of them. Nobody afraid of you. Gone are the days that we advocate will be afraid of you people. If Liberia must be better, we will stand up against you. We will stand up, we will speak against you. And we can't be living in fear forever. You must be brought to justice. We need a war crimes court in Liberia. Let all those rebel people and their wife, their children, then leave our country in peace and not in pieces. What happened? You come in local Alexander Cummings, you say Joao Taylor will defeat him face down. Are
Yeah,
you
but
crazy?
that's the person's opinion. He can't do anything. The
Are you
person not
crazy?
voting.
No, he must be drinking something. He must be under
Yeah, but
something
he's
that
not
is not
voting. So
normal.
why your
No,
hero somebody who
I want to check him because I'm the same person that can be on a show and defending the Liberian people when you say, oh, Liberian people are just stupid. And I tell you, say, no, they are not like this. So I'm the same person who defending that. I will check this one. Don't be stupid. You can be coward all your life. You got to stand for something.
okay.
What's it? Okay,
But
yeah,
I think the comments or the rest of them are not making any sense to me. Anyway,
okay.
you go.
So
I
you say
know,
what's the
eh?
next call? You were talking about Brian Samka, right? Brian
Yeah,
Samka. So we heard the story that's like I don't know what is confirmed information. There's a
that
story
I
that
saw on Spoon TV
that
today.
he has fled the country. He's to be
Yeah,
arrested and to the jail.
yeah.
So yeah, so that's the case. So the problem here is what is he afraid of jail or is he afraid of is he
The
guilty?
man ran away for his life because definitely, Mr. Jammeh, if they put that man in prison, they're gonna kill him. You know we have a cannibal of a government now. They are just on a rampage, just killing innocent people. Okay, Bernie Samka is not innocent, he did his corruption. But you are even worse
No.
corrupt
But
than this man.
wait. I got small problem. I need some explanation. When
Mm-hmm.
people keep accusing Brani of being corrupt or using this money, I mean, didn't we hear that Ellen, as president, instructed the defense minister to use this money
That
to
money,
sponsor
yeah.
the AFL soldiers in Mali? So I don't understand where Brani went wrong here. I mean,
But
You know,
raccoon know where to clean a butt. You think we are go clean a butt on tonton?
you know very
You
well
never
that
mind, Ellie.
Brane will be a kind of a tough guy when he get to the Senate. So the fear is like they got to get rid of him. He's a
Yeah.
yes,
dissenting.
that's the
So when
whole
he
thing.
get to the Senate, he won't be liked by the government. It's just like this guy Messi himself. He one of those guys that people that respect to. People like DeLong who used to be like, he was coming up with he was a very shiny politician coming up, upcoming politician,
They
which has
long on they are already what do you call him?
Messi's record at the moment. I hope he will
Yeah.
clean up this record. But coming to Brian, he's an experienced guy, the military man, the security officer. He knows the way around. So you can't just shake that guy. So when he gets to the Senate, will have caused trouble for we are. So the final way before you get this guy to the Senate, let's finish him
Yeah,
before we get into the Senate.
to get him up because it doesn't make sense that we are himself, his government, pay half of this money, then he turn around, he start, penalizing the man for it. So if you know that the man stole the money, why would I want to see Sonny and you don't let stealing and start paying for the thing I stole? You
The
volunteer to
story,
pay for it.
there's a news coming out with the issue of the Ministry of Agriculture, all this money issue. There are a lot of money being missing in our country,
Yeah.
and nobody has been sent to jail.
And
But the
nobody's
main
taking
Millions,
the
government
millions.
responsibility.
is corrupt, Mr. Jamel. It's corrupt beyond corruption.
16 billion.
And you, yeah, it
Nobody knows
is
what's
clear.
happening. 16 billion
Nobody
No,
dollars.
is auditing you. Nobody is even saying anything.
You know what I thought? That 16 billion. There
Mhm.
was a snake in the mansion some times ago. I think Ministry, that snake may have swallowed that money. No, you don't think so?
Yeah,
No,
maybe the snake swallowed 16 billion.
I
no,
think
it's a snake.
No,
that
That snake.
snake that is
on a
staying in the
serious note,
mansion that made all the president and running away from them. Maybe that
yeah,
was swallowed that.
on a serious note, let's look at. I mean, we got 5 minutes more, but let's look at the security implication. Though we can preempt, but let's just exercise our minds a little bit. The security implication. One, Brani Samoka was defense minister for complete 12 years. That's long
Yeah,
time enough to get to know a lot of people, to get to know a lot of things that can happen. Okay. And secondly, the same AFL people who they're fighting for, some of them serve under Brani Samoka.
yeah.
They know him well.
Mm-hmm.
And besides that, not everybody in the AFL that will be against Brani in any case, even if they all got some friends. So
Mm-hmm.
and you want to force and trace this man for something that is very clear. I mean, Brani at the time, I know Brani Samoka, that was between 1983, 84. I was in the AFL Taekwondo club, and Brani Samoka was with Master Lee. So we always will have fight against that group. That's the only time I ever came closer to Brani Samoka and then sometime on LU campus. But I don't know him. I mean, like personally, okay? But I knew him from our karate group. So Brani did not use this money. It was confirmed by the ex-president that she mandated him as defense minister. So we
Yeah.
know people can do corruption. Brani is now injured,
Mm-hmm.
but there's record that he did not spend the money on his own. The records
Yeah.
are there. So why he prosecuting? Why he want him? And the president who instructed the man, the president still living. Ellen Johnson was there to say she died. She's alive. So why I can't ask her too?
Because he feel intimidated by this man present. But one thing Wia is a stupid boy. He lack common sense. It's not about education that will say that this man is stupid, but he lack the common sense, his own common sense of thinking. It is good to even have Bernie Samuka in the country than to have him out of the country. You
Security implication.
humiliated this man, you suppress him, and you gave him no other alternative but to leave the country overnight. So tell me, are you not afraid or threatened that this man was once a defense minister and now you see the whole of the western region,
Yeah.
they are cool and cool and cool and cool all
No, but
around.
we
That
are
means
we
we
are
have
we are
power.
saying he gets security. We are get security, so
Okay.
he's not afraid
What
of
I
is
think
nothing, man.
security?
I think you have
Okay,
some foreign guys guarding him with all that. Look, that's why
okay,
the
okay.
system, the thing what Antrick is saying made a lot of sense. People who don't want to talk about it, you think that we see it's a taboo.
No, we'll talk
But
about it. Me,
look at
I'll
what's
talk about it.
look at what's happening. We may not want to talk about it. It's something we need to talk about. You see what's happening in the West African region. Just a week ago, what happened in Burkina Faso, Sudan, Guinea,
Mhm.
Mali. Those things are happening. I mean,
But
the
Mr.
citizens are
Jamel,
fed up.
the human
People are fed
rights
up.
watch is out. The
Yeah, the
human
people.
rights
No,
watch report is
what
out.
I'm trying to say here is like the people are watching. The only thing that
Mhm.
they can only kind of choose sanctions, strangulate these military leaders. When they see that your country, look how the Liberians are suffering. Never happened, even under Taylor leadership. I mean, with Taylor, we say he was a rebel leader. Look at what happened. People live a better life. What we're going
Mhm.
6 months, no pay. Hey, the country is hard, man.
Yes.
Country is
And
hard. And this
only them are receiving money, here and
and
there
and,
and here
and,
and there.
and they're
The
putting pressure
ordinary,
and
the
they're putting
ordinary
pressure. Yeah.
civil servant, they cannot have it. They
They
cannot have their pay on a regular month end. They cannot
Linford,
have it.
this Andrew, this create a social pressure on the people. People will put a social. If they got the money, they're not getting the supply. What happened? It put the people up to a position where they'll fight back. So when you see what's happening around, like Andrew just said, Brian Samka with connections around. What happened if you took back to the Grady Allison issue? Why they got rid of
Yeah.
Grady Allison easily? because he had he was well respected in the military. If he could do anything in the military, what happened to Thomas Kuwangwa? His connection with the military, that people went flying. So those things, they're not following history, pushing this guy to the limit. He can make his connection out
pushing the guy to but he had already done
we
it.
don't,
He had
we
already
don't want
pushed
it
this
to, nothing to happen to our democracy. Nobody want a coup in our country. Nobody wanted this imbalance of system but this system is going to a way that anybody can pray low. I want to change for any weapon necessary. And that's not what we want. That's not what we want.
But let's forget about the physical, change where people do use some force through military coup or whatever to make a change, which is necessary as time though. But because in our constitution, I have not read anything that says people cannot have a coup because there's somewhere in our constitution. Yeah, there is not there. There's somewhere in our constitution that also say the people can change their government if they find it necessary. Article 1 say people can change their government if they find it necessary. But that's not what we're preaching. What we're saying here is, they are on two fronts. Like Jamel said, we can't shy away from talking about these things. They are reality. Okay, we can't shy away from talking about these things. They are reality. But how they happen and when is what we are concerned about. But there are two ways. Let's rule out any violence. What could happen is right around the corner, 2023 elections, 1 year, just 1 year away. Okay, the people will say, okay, right now we want coup, we want no violence, nothing, but we get our silent weapon, which is our votes. Okay, and tomorrow they vote you out, you Mr. President. Where do you stand? Once they vote you out, you out. You got no more power.
We voting out. We bringing him to public ridicule.
What happening is like, how will you
vote
him
corrupt
out?
officials?
How will you vote him out? Those voters they are giving them, they are pushing those guys that are informing the citizens like this is not right. They're driving out, coming out of the country. People that those dissenting views that keep chasing them out of the country. Then they are feeding up those chiefs that think that will go to their children and their sons and daughters, tell them, these are men, these are our interested person, giving them vehicles, giving them money, and dashing money out.
Listen, the same chiefs, Jamal, let me tell you, the same chiefs that are children there who supporting other people too. Like coming here, other people.
But if that's what we are saying, what are we saying? Do not let Comey be thrown into jail. That's the thing. No. Don't let it happen, because if it happens, it diminishes his chance of getting out there to speak to the people.
No, that will even be worse. Wait, let me be frank. You successfully got rid of Brandon Samuka. Everybody is saying talking. That's the talk of the town. If you get rid of Cummings, that's an addition to the file. So then what happens?
He can't make it. Of course, it will not work.
You have added more flame to it. So who next? Who you going after next? So we see it.
He will go. Like
we get exercise in the brain. We get exercise in the brain. We're not suggesting anything. We get exercise in the brain. And it's good to do these things. Exercise the brain and think the extra mile. Because let me tell you, nobody should rule the fact out that the people can go to the ballot box and say, no, listen, we will vote, we are out. The thing is, why I like about the ballot box is I'm there alone. So no RPG to my head. Yeah. You see, but if you bring military coup, let me just go to the extreme. Let's say the people bring military coup, there will be some bloodshed. People, somebody just gotta die. Okay, but in a ballot box, that is a way, that is a play. That one, nobody there. But man, I can be there.
That's the reason why the people wait for
I do agree, but we need some civil education to tell them who to vote for. You can go to the ballot box, you don't know who to vote for. You need to be told who to vote for. Who will bring changes like Cummings.
Let me tell you one thing.
Congo
got no partisan.
But if I don't know who to,
I agree. Got no partisan.
I agree, but if I don't know, I agree, but I don't know who to vote for. I don't want but who else on the ticket? Cummings is not around. Who is to vote for?
There's where the problem will come, because
that's what I'm talking about.
The same vote. The thing that we are president today could happen, that even me, if I run, or you will be surprised that Tiawan Kongolo or Daniel Kassim become president, because the people will be frustrated. They say, send the CPP, the people already saying it, send the CPP, finish breaking apart. We just want to know if they will not hold, then we'll decide. Now at that time, you see, Tiawan then will start making headways, or when you got Daniel Kassim will start making headway.
And so anybody can become
president. Anybody.
You know that Nathaniel Ban has an intention also. Nathaniel Barnes, he had the intention. I mean, but this year you see a lot of people becoming, a lot of hairs will raise
yeah,
up.
a lot of people. LIBERIA is good for featuring several political candidates. But
You
guys,
got
I'm
committee.
very much afraid.
LIBERIA is an elephant meat now, so everybody
I'm
wants
very,
to get
very much.
Wait, say, were you reading something? You reading?
No.
I said LIBERIA is an elephant meat, so everybody want to get their own share.
I'm just saying that I'm afraid we got to end up here. We've gone over 2 hours almost and 10 minutes.
In his time.
Yeah.
My God.
No. I mean, that's why we're supposed to, observe the time, because you see our viewership drop. We got that. But we'll be here. I'm not sure if I don't know whether we can do the ANC night tomorrow because the producers are not available. But we don't want to promise our viewers. But for sure, we're going to be here on Tuesday, and we're going to continue the discussions. And we hope, because imagine it's Monday, then Tuesday. So we hope that between there, many things will happen, and we'll have a lot of things to talk about. So, Andre, Chima, I hope you guys keep your eyes open, your ears open, and take down your notes. And we'll be here on Tuesday to bring out some thought-provoking discussions to our people. Thanks a lot. Have a nice day. Have a nice night wherever you are, morning, afternoon, or night. We see you on Monday.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Tuesday.
And
good night from my end.
We see you.